Yeah, so here I am, kind of a conundrum wrapped up in an enigma. Now, going into Canada Day, if you see cars with Canadian flags and trucks with flags and stuff flying all over the place, what am I supposed to think? Am I supposed to cheer or am I supposed to jeer? I don't know. I'm not sure what the Canadian flag it's. I don't know. It's unfortunate. Yeah. Anyway, happy Canada Day weekend. Yeah. You too. Hey, sorry for ignoring you there for a second. Welcome to season 3, episode 25. I think we are, or 26. Yeah, 26. With Lee Sterry, that would be me. We are fueled by Gales Gas Bars, powered by WeeStreem. We are supported by Performance Heating and Air, as well as Virgin Insurance. We are going to be on this beautiful, absolutely gorgeous summer day. Coming into Fiddler's Poorhouse, where they are gracious enough to host Niagara 411 Live with Lee Sterry each and every week. And we have really quite a big show for you today. A really big show, as Ed Sullivan used to say, if you remember that name. Coming up for you today, I think we might have our mixed martial arts fighter Jasudavicius coming up. We're going to be talking about the amazing thing that is the opening of the tunnel at the Niagara Power Station. We'll have the CEO, David Adames, coming up a little bit later. There has been, I don't want to be too strong a word and call it controversy, with a charity being run on behalf of Niagara Hospice. Not to cast any aspersions on Hospice at all, great organization, but there's this catch the ace thing happening, and one man has won 7 times now over the course of this contest, this lottery. And the next one is going tonight, I believe, and it's now up to $346,000. There seem to be some questions about that. We're going to be talking to Alicia Mary from Hospice about that as well, and a bunch of other things coming up on this program as we kick off our long Canada Day holiday weekend here in Niagara. See you in 30 seconds. Hello. Hi. I am still trying to locate the other half of my, there it is. Woo, that was fun. Of my audio connection here. Usually I am so uber prepared. Can we use that word uber now without meaning something completely different? Anyway, here we are. Ladies and gentlemen, resplendent in our summer gear for Canada Day. I know I should have red flags and stuff, but it's summery. What the hell? It's about as close to summery as I could get. And ladies and gentlemen, also Kevin, Jack on the right-hand portion.
Yeah, hey Lee, happy Canada Day. Love the shirt.
Thank you. It was a present from my son for Father's Day.
Yeah, you nailed it.
Yeah, you did nail it. So WeeStream is what Kevin does, along with his partner Brandon.
Busy
Scram.
week, Lee. Thanks for asking, although I don't know if you did. We streamed this week. What stands out as a highlight?
I was kind of getting there.
Yeah, we streamed the graduation ceremony for the DSBN Academy, which is housed at the old West Park. It was a new initiative right across the board, and we've been helping them out with their graduation ceremonies ever since their first one, I think in 2015 or 2016. It's just been, it's incredible. And we did that over at Club Roma. So thanks so much to Principal Lisa Nazar for bringing WeeStream in once again. And love doing it, as we saw. And I mean, if you're on social media and on Facebook, you couldn't help but notice that it was a high school graduation week, because everybody posting proud parent photos of them and their graduating children.
Proud prom pictures. I cannot help but every time I see one of those pictures, and they are all lovely with the parents celebrating with their children, etc. I flash back to when we did our graduation because you can't help but compare all the pictures and all the settings and the clothes and all the rest of it to the times when we actually went through it. And your generation would have been different, obviously, than mine. And boy, I think they look a lot better now than we did then. It's like looking at old wedding pictures. My wife drags out these wedding albums. Please don't show the wedding. She looks gorgeous, but me, that's another whole story. Anyway.
Yeah,
Kevin,
sorry, but let me pop it up here. So here we are, Club Roma. And there's
okay.
the DSPN Academy graduation. And you know what's really cool about the Academy? I mean, they have a bit of a mandate, and this year they said that 36 graduating students, and all 36 had been accepted into post-secondary schools, which is just incredible if you consider that's really what their mandate is.
All 36.
All 36. Now, a couple people decided to defer, but I mean, you know.
But that's their decision.
Exactly, but all 36 got accepted into post-secondary schools, so good job that they're doing over there.
Yeah.
Lisa Nazar, everybody involved with DSPN Academy, and of course, right up to the top with DSPN, kind of the brainchild for the whole thing. But this is WeeStream's work, and if if your high school graduation wasn't streamed this year, and it could have been for grandparents and family and friends afar, get in touch with your principal. Get them to track us down at WeeStream, because we'll hook you up.
And again, and I've stressed this before on the program, as you're watching what you're watching on the screen, is you're not talking about somebody's cousin Brucey from down the street that is holding an iPhone and sending it around to everybody later. This is definitely a real pro type thing.
Yeah, thanks,
edited and presented as well as any event might be. So good for you, Kevin. That's great.
Yeah, no, I mean, you touched on it at the beginning, but incredibly crazy show today.
Yeah. What we're going to do is we're going to kick off showing a video that is actually on the Niagara Parks Commission site for the opening of the tunnel. You may remember we had CEO of Niagara Parks, David Adames, on to talk about the opening to the public of the Niagara Power Station and the light show, et cetera, that happened a number of months ago. And he said, as of July the 1st, the public will be able to tour the new tunnel. I had an opportunity to do so yesterday before it opened to the general public. Every now and then you get a perk doing jobs like this, and it was great to do that. But here's I think it's only, it runs about, 2 minutes and 15 seconds. So this is the promo video that's on the Niagara Parks site, and it'll give you a nice slick overview of what it is. Then we'll dig in a little deeper to this topic when David joins us in a bit. Here we go.
This summer, Niagara Parks is proud to open the tunnel at the Niagara Parks Power Station, our newest guest experience. Summer of 2021, we opened the generator hall floor and the spectacular evening sound and light show called Currents. Now with opening the tunnel, it really does complete that visitor experience, telling the complete story of the Niagara Parks Power Station.
The tunnel is a marvel of engineering. Over 100 years ago, between 1901 and 1904, they were able to start and finish that tunnel, even before the plant itself was actually finished.
Our visitors will enter the Niagara Parks Power Station south of the Horseshoe Falls, see the spectacular generator hall floor, enter a glass enclosed elevator, descend 180 feet with each floor lit.
The special part about these elevator cabs, we want the guests to experience all the different levels, all the infrastructure that's required in the power generating process. You're going down these elevators as if you're in the penstock, and you land in the wheel pit, which is where the water would drop and then start this journey out through the tunnel and out to the Niagara River. So you are basically the water, and you get that entire experience.
Niagara Parks has installed a variety of interpretive panels along the 2,200 feet of the tunnel. Guests will be able to take their time, learn more about the construction of the tunnel and how it all fits with the overall Niagara Parks Power Station experience.
Myself as an engineer, one of the most important pieces to the project is how authentic it is. We've left everything intact that we could, but we wanted to make it accessible and safe to the public.
The end of the tunnel provides a spectacular guest experience. We have constructed a 65-foot viewing platform, so the first time ever, Guests will be able to get close to the Niagara River.
You can feel it, you can smell it, you can basically touch it. That's how you feel when you're on this platform.
We are so very much looking forward to welcoming our guests to Niagara Parks and the new tunnel at the Niagara Parks Power Station.
And I would like to thank David Adames and Niagara Parks for welcoming me and others yesterday to experience it firsthand before it opens up to the public, which is tomorrow, July the 1st. And joining us on the program, we do have CEO of Niagara Parks Commission, David Adames. David, you've been busy the last few days. Hi, and again, thanks for coming on the show today.
Well, thanks so much, Lee, for having me. Thank you for visiting the power station yesterday. It was great to see you, and I would love to hear what you thought of the new tunnel and the whole experience of the power station.
I will most definitely tell you that. First of all, I want to get to the nitty-gritty, the things that people really want to know is, it is tomorrow opening, correct, to the public?
That is correct. On July 1st, we open to the public.
Yeah. And the easiest way to access it as far as parking and or buses and or whatever, what would your advice be for people that want to come down and see it?
So we have parking at our Falls parking lot that's located just south of Table Rock. So if your viewers are driving along the Niagara Parkway, if they're approaching from the north, they will drive along the parkway, past Table Rock on their left-hand side, continue a bit further, turn at the lights. You'll see Fraser Hill. They turn in there. They'll go actually by the power station, sort of loop around it into the parking lot, and they can park at the back end of the power station. They'll see a little pathway, a little sign for the power station. We have a beautiful plaza. In fact, the view behind me is the Niagara Parks Power Station Plaza. So Falls parking is my advice for parking.
Nice. And with regard to the tour itself, are there specific times that you run tours, or can people just walk in and experience it as they come?
There are two options. Your viewers can go on niagaraparks.com/power, buy tickets for the power station in advance. They can choose a time if they would like for, let's say, for example, a guided tour of the generator hall floor, then visit the tunnel afterwards. Or if they're looking for self-guided tours, they can simply buy a ticket and they can attend anytime during open hours, basically 10 until 5, so 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. And of course, we have the evening sound and light show as well that goes at 7:15 nightly.
So could someone come and buy a ticket for, say, and go through the tunnel and do the walk around, et cetera, and stay for the light show, or is this a different ticket?
We have a ticket bundle that includes the generator hall floor and the tunnel along with the evening sound and light show, okay. Or they can simply buy the ticket, which will get them the generator hall floor and the tunnel. All
right. And this for families is kind of where the rubber hits the road, David. What are ticket prices, and how much is it going to cost me to bring my family to see this event?
Yes, no, great question. So the tickets start at $28 for an adult. And the child price, I believe, is $19.50. I'll double check that, but I think it's $19.50. Again, we do have some other bundle opportunities. So the whole list of our ticket products are on niagaraparks.com/power, and again, gives different options for those bundles.
Okay. Behind this project must have been, and I know it took many, many years, because I grew up in Niagara and that building has been sitting there for a long time. And one of the things that did strike me was, in spite of the typical rust that you're going to get on iron because you're dealing with water all the time, what struck me was the amazing condition of all of that machinery that still remains in that building today. It was like just astounding.
We agree with you. So the power station, the Niagara Parks Power Station, was operating until 2006. So the company Fortis took really good care of the building.
Yeah.
So it was in remarkably good condition, to your point. So Niagara Parks, we secured a loan, a $25 million loan through the Ontario Financing Authority. to undertake the adaptive reuse project. So we're going to pay that loan back over 10 years. We'll start next year to repay that.
Okay.
And that repayment will come through, obviously, the revenue that we produce from the attraction.
Right.
But to your point, fortunately, we didn't have to spend a lot of that money on actual restoration work. It was more in terms of turning it into a visitor attraction.
Right.
Now, we did do some things like stopping the water from coming in the building. So some
That
of
would
your
be good.
That's right. So, some of your viewers may remember when we built the coffer dam to stop the water in that in the forebay area.
Right.
So we did that work in 2020 in preparation of launching phase 1 last July. So something like that. That's when we got built that concrete wall to stop the water going in. So things like that. But yes, when guests go down that glass elevator now and can see all of the layers or the floors of the power station. To your point, yes, some of those pieces are rusted, but they're in remarkably good shape.
Yeah, they are. To go to my impressions from yesterday, Kevin's showing some of the shots that I took yesterday. You can't see them at the moment, but you can go back and have a look later. Is how clean and pristine and everything you guys have made it. Like it's an easy walk, but it is a long walk. Somebody that has difficulty walking might want to take a walker or a wheelchair. And I noticed you had some golf carts that some people could commission to take them down the trail.
That's right. So we do encourage people to wear a jacket because it's a bit cooler down there. Wear proper footwear. We also do have some wheelchairs available, and in the event that we have, some say significant mobility issues, we do have a golf cart there.
Yeah. So there are ways to see it, but come prepared. And it's a little bit like riding Hornblower. Or we're not Hornblower anymore, are we? What are we called now?
So it's Niagara City Cruises.
Niagara City Cruises. Okay. So. And you can see in some of the shots that we have up there, the Niagara City Cruises folks are in the background. And so when you do go, depending on which way the wind is blowing, it's always been this way around the falls. Make sure you got a windbreaker or a slicker or something, because you're very, very close to the cataract, and the mist can be. We came out of there pretty wet yesterday, but I loved it.
Oh, that's great. No, I got soaked in the morning. I was down there with an early group, and I was on the viewing platform a number of times during the day. And you're right, depending on time of day, how the wind conditions are going, the mist will blow back onto the viewing platform. But it's part of the experience, and we want to touch many senses down there.
You've succeeded in touching many senses. Other than when I took my couple of rides many years ago on the early Maid of the Mist type group, which is now Niagara City Cruises. I have never been closer at like below sea level to see Niagara Falls, and it's always been, Niagara Falls has always been near and dear to my heart because I grew up here, and I've always been amazed by it. I've never taken it for granted, and to see it like that is just it's awe-inspiring, David, and I congratulate Niagara Parks on being foreseeing enough to not just rip this stuff down and put up high-rise motels. I think this is just a wonderful thing to do.
Yeah. No, thank you for that. And to your point, this is a landmark attraction. It gives a whole new perspective on the lower Niagara River, the gorge. The gorge, the wall of the gorge as well on the one side looking back, Horseshoe Falls to the right and American Falls to the left, Goat Island straight ahead and Terrapin Point. So it is a wonderful experience. And this is now in place for generations of Ontarians to enjoy. It's such a significant part of Ontario and Canada's history. This was the first hydropower station of its kind on the Canadian side of the Niagara River. And again, it's there for future folks to enjoy.
I have to be curious because I know there are probably people that will be watching you and I and other videos about the Niagara Power Station, and they'll wonder. So it's sort of I'm duty bound to ask the question. Financially, I know the Niagara Parks Commission does exist to somewhat degree at the pleasure of the province and the taxpayer, etc. And with all of these wonderful things that you folks have done to bring this attraction to the public, do you see these, it's kind of an awkward question, I'm sorry, but do you see these projects actually turning an operations profit over time?
Absolutely. So Niagara Parks, we're what's called a board-governed operational enterprise of the Ontario government. So we are self-funded. So normally, in normal years, we do not receive any operating grants. We did receive some assistance during the COVID years, but now we're back to being fully self-funded. So our business plan for the Niagara Parks Power Station is to turn a profit, and from those profits from the power station, we'll repay that loan, $25 million loan I mentioned earlier, over a 10-year period. So Niagara Parks, this is our 7th attraction. So we operate 7 attractions, 2 championship golf courses. We operate 5 full-service restaurants, 8 quick-service food outlets, 8 retail outlets, parking services, 4 heritage sites. So those are our revenue-producing operations. The funds that we generate from those help fund our environmental and cultural stewardship initiatives. But we also do some municipal-type services. We cut the grass. We plow the roads at the parkway for snow in the wintertime, salt the roads as well. We also have our own police force, Niagara Parks Police Force.
Indeed, I'm aware of that, yeah.
So along the whole Niagara River corridor. So it's a great question.
I'm going to take you, and because other people have questions about Niagara Parks Commission stuff too, and since I don't get a chance to talk to you very often, and I don't mean to put you on the spot, it's just a casual question. If you're not up to date on this, that's totally fine. What is the status, if you know, of the Millers Creek Marina development or lack thereof that's been sort of on the table for years out near Fort Erie?
Yes, no, I appreciate the question. So it is in the redevelopment of the marina is in our 10-year strategic plan.
Okay.
The last time we were out to market with the request for proposals was 2016-17. Unfortunately, we didn't receive any proposals. Now, our commission is looking at and reviewing the criteria that we used, basically the parameters for that request for proposals from last time.
Right, because I remember the RFP was a little bit contentious.
It was, and because it was going to be on entirely leased land. So we're just looking at options around that. We did have to pause the project because of COVID. We just didn't have the resources to move that forward.
Right.
I don't have an exact timeline yet when we'll start to revisit that, but we will be bringing that back forward.
All right.
Pleased to say to your viewers, though, we are operating the marina. We operated it right through COVID as well, but the marina is open and operational this year. We have a full list of slip holders there, so the marina is up and running.
Awesome. Well, sorry to blindside you with that question. It just popped into my head while I had you here. I thought, while I've got you captive, I won't let you go.
No, happy to answer any questions about Niagara Parks. We're a public agency. We're here to serve the public, so I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have.
Well, congratulations, David, on opening this. And the thing that I like is the fact that you told us it was going to be opening on July the 1st. It is opening on July the 1st. You kept your promises, you kept your timelines, and everything looks just absolutely first class all the way. It's perfect. And I, as a native Niagaran, am totally thrilled with it. So, thank you.
Well, no, thank you. And I just want to, give credit to our commission, our commissioners for their full support of this project. Our provincial government through our ministry, they were there right from day one to support this. And again, this is now a new visitor attraction, helping tourism recovery in the near term, but tourism for the long term, and a new landmark attraction.
Awesome. David Dame, CEO.
Before
Kevin?
we let him go, I just want to hop in with a question here, just because we haven't touched on it. And I saw this picture, the chair of Niagara Parks, April Jeffs, and she posted a photo with her family yesterday. And this is a backdrop that I've never seen before in Niagara. And this day and age, where the next generation is so crazy and hungering for the backdrop for their Instagram. Did that play a role into the design of the tunnel? And have you been contacted by any pseudo-celebrity influencers that want to get down there so that they can take their photo there? And I'll throw the picture up.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that question. So I suspect some of those influencers will be contacting us because that, the images and videos are certainly getting out there a little more widespread at the moment. But
talk about the money shot.
Absolutely. But the short answer is yes, we thought about social media to share with your viewers as well. We have put cell boosters through the whole tunnel. So in fact, you can still use your cell phones right through the whole tunnel. We want those Instagram moments, lots of photos to share. And certainly yesterday, there was an awful lot of photo sharing, image sharing. So we do want to see that happen. But it was very intentional. The commission was so supportive of getting that viewing platform built. And we did a design build for the tunnel itself. And Rankin Construction won the contract for that. They did an outstanding job. And actually, Rankin provided additional sponsorship to allow us to get that platform built. So to go out and have that new perspective, and yes, the money shot of the Horseshoe Falls, a whole new perspective on that, but the lower river, to get so close to where the boats are operating as well. But yes, we want lots of sharing of those images.
And make sure, and you've probably already done this, that every film production company and film producer on the planet sees this stuff, because I foresee many movies using this backdrop and this scene as scenes in upcoming productions. It's, I mean, who as a filmmaker could possibly resist this?
We agree. I mean, everything from the brick-lined tunnel itself, which was in remarkable shape, by the way.
One of these days, Tom Cruise is going to be flying a plane through that tunnel.
Well, and he'll probably fly it himself too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's a wonderful, wonderful setting, and yes, so we're going to work with our sister agency, Ontario Creates, to make sure the film producers know about the site.
Awesome. Well, David, again, congratulations on a fabulous accomplishment. And I know it wasn't just you. There are many people in the commissioners and all the people that had a voice in this. But you're the guy of the moment, and we thank you for being here. And again, it was a pleasure to see it yesterday, and it's a pleasure to have you here today.
Yeah, no, anytime, and thank you for that comment. No, true team effort. I mean, every single department at Niagara Parks was involved with the full support of our commissioners, and we're so proud of opening on time, on budget, on July 1st.
Well, good job, and all your people and volunteers and workers and everybody that was there yesterday were just terrific. So, again, congrats on a great venture.
Thanks so much, Lee, and thank you, Kevin, as well, for the question.
Take care.
Okay, take care now. Bye-bye.
Wow, that's every time you turn around, there's something better about Niagara.
Yeah, I've never seen this shot before.
Well, there's never been an opportunity to see that shot before. And what April and the family and the gang and the guests there had the opportunity to do is not be overrun by mist, because the wind was blowing toward us yesterday and we were just getting soaked out there. So when you go, make sure you do take something to keep yourself dry, just in case the wind is blowing in your direction. But what an absolute, that is a picture perfect pamphlet shot for making Niagara Falls your destination. It couldn't get better than that.
It really can't. Like I'm in awe at the images that I'm seeing. I'm in awe with the video footage that you shot and some of the others that we shared here on the show. The tunnel ride and even the foresight from David seems like they checked all the boxes, right? Hey, we put cell repeaters in the tunnel. You can use your cell phone all the way 180 feet into bedrock.
Yeah.
I mean, just an incredible job by the entire team, and I can't wait to get down there myself, Lee. You were there. Some of the video I was showing, it's hard for the cameras to capture it.
It is.
But we just know how awe-inspiring it is. Tell us a little bit what it was like for you when you walked towards the end, at the end of that tunnel.
Well, I didn't really know what to expect, although from pictures that I had seen, and you could feel the mist sort of coming into the tunnel as you got toward the end, and I guess that minimized the experience a little bit, because the people that didn't want to get wet wouldn't go out, but I didn't care. So I went and I just looked up That's the first thing I did, because I realized how far down into the gorge we were, and I looked up at places I'd been standing previous times to look down at Niagara Falls, and I realized actually how far and how level we were with the lower rapids, and the juxtaposition of the American Falls with the Rainbow Bridge, and then the Horseshoe Falls on the right-hand side. And what added to it, as you saw in some of the pictures that Kevin showed, was the Niagara City Cruises boat, formerly known as Hornblower, even closer than that when you were looking at them. And it's just, and then even going up and down the elevator, when it showed that elevator shot as you went by the floors, those were the different generating floors, and they left those glass walls there on purpose so that you could actually see how it worked. And I don't know if I gave you the picture or not, but there was one picture right at the very end that it was a mock-up of the four series floors down to where the water would run out into the river. And the thing is, what is hard to imagine when you're walking through there, the thing that is, it's almost like being in a movie like Poseidon Adventure or a tsunami or something. You think about the rushing water that would go through that tube that we're walking in. Yes. You're walking in this tube, and there must have been millions and millions and gallons of water at incredible pressure running through that tube, through that tunnel, down into the rapids. Just
I can't
astounding.
Wait to get down there, Lee.
It's just astounding.
Lee, we got a special guest here on the program, and I don't want to keep her waiting any longer. UFC MMA fighter from St. Catharines has just taken a break from the ring where she was sparring. So Jasmine Jasudavicius joins us once again.
Jazz,
how are you?
Welcome back. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Good. Well, now, the last time we talked, you had come off your first victory on the UFC, riding high, still are riding high as far as I know. So bring us up to date since then.
So I fought last week, and unfortunately it didn't go my way. It was a tough fight, but back in the gym, working hard, and I don't know when the next one will be. It'll be a little bit, but yeah, lots to work on from the fight, and looking forward to it.
Tell us about the fight itself. Who were you fighting? Where was it?
It was in Austin, Texas, and it was against a girl. She's a Brazilian girl named Natalia Silva.
Mm-hmm.
She was, she got signed to the UFC like 2 years ago, and but she suffered an injury, and then so she didn't fight for 2 years, and then they just matched me against her, and she's obviously a very talented girl, kickboxer, and she beat me in the fight, unfortunately, but you win some, you lose some.
No one would
watch that Rocky movie if he won all the time, right?
That's one of those sports. You don't win them all. What did you take away from that fight? It was your second fight. Unfortunately, you came out on the losing end. But what do you personally, as a fighter and as a person, take away from that?
Well, I mean, there's a lot of technical things that I have to deal with. I mean, I'm still kind of getting through it. You put your whole life into something, and then it doesn't go your way. It's you're heartbroken for a little bit. So I'm still kind of working through that, and but yeah, like there's a lot of technical things that I'm working on, and hopefully next one will be better.
And you must have a number of people around you that are saying, hey, you lose a fight, and maybe you didn't lose it, maybe she won it. Because there's a bit of a difference. It just happens that somebody has to win. And you gotta kind of bury that somewhere and take it with you and make you stronger somehow, don't you?
Yeah, and that's exactly it. It's like you have to figure out how to like harness the terrible feeling that you have in order to continue to get better. You know, it's all part of it. You can't feel the highs of the highs if you don't feel the lows of the lows, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know, it's nice to be back in the gym. I had to they make me take a couple days off after the fight.
Sure.
But it's nice to be back in the gym, back on a regular schedule, and you know, putting it behind me and just working on the things that I need to work on moving forward.
Where are you training, Jazz?
I'm training out in Niagara Top Team in St. Catharines.
Okay.
Really good gym. I got great training partners, great coaches here.
So now, does this? So you got a win and a loss, right? So far, you're 1-1.
Yep.
Okay. What does that status, if anything, do to your status in the UFC? How does this affect your move forward?
I mean, it opens up different opportunities. If I got a win, then it would obviously jump me up the ranks, and you know, that would open up a lot more doors for me. But as of right now, I'm not too sure. Like I know I still have other fights on my contract, and it's not like it's a huge loss. Like it is a loss, but I didn't lose like a ton of stock.
Yeah, it's not like they're tossing you out or anything like that.
Yeah, exactly. So you know what I mean? People only remember your last performance, so it's like I'm just gonna work hard until then and make sure my next performance isn't a loss, right?
and you're not quite sure when or where that is yet.
No, I won't know for a while.
Who controls that? Is it the UFC themselves?
Yeah, I mean, it'll be like, I'll tell them, hey, I want to fight before, say, like next year, whatever. I give them a date that I want to fight before, and then it's up to them, and they just let me know when and where and who.
Now, to get a little bit more personal, in the meantime, so like, I go to work every week or every day or whatever, doing what I do, and you go to work. You're not really quite sure when, months at a time, and you're training, etc. Now, do you have some sort of an income as a contract with the UFC that, like, how do you support yourself?
So I get paid in the fights, and so hopefully that kind of keeps me until the next fight. But I'm very fortunate to have sponsors. So they're the ones that help me to be able to still train. You know, I'm in the gym for 4 hours in the morning, 4 hours in the evening, you know.
Jeez.
And so, yeah, you know, it's not all live work the entire time. A lot of time it's like technical work, drilling, where it's like
It's still work, yeah. It's like half hour of drilling armbar defense or something. So it's not super taxing on your body, but like mentally it's pretty taxing. So I'm fortunate to have like very, very good sponsors that will like help me out, and it helps that my boyfriend owns the house, so I'm able to stay there for free. But yeah, mainly I just keep my expenses low. I have like a sponsorship that is called Tribe Meals, so they give me my meals, and then so nice.
It's like, yeah. So I have like a lot of very good, very, very helpful sponsors that keep me able to train every day and keep me in the gym.
Kevin?
Turn my mic on here. Jazz, speaking about the sponsorships, I want to ask a couple questions. What sponsorships are available if anybody wants to sponsor you? Since you've been in the UFC, how has that affected your socials? Did you see a big pump in Instagram, for example? And for UFC fighters, you're probably limited to what you can do in the ring. I mean, we're showing clips of your last fight here as far as sponsorship, but is that where you make a lot of your money, is outside of the octagon?
Yeah, mainly outside of the octagon. So once I got into the UFC, my Instagram grew like crazy. And like before, I think I had like 5,000 followers. I think now I've got like 18K or something like that. You know, it definitely definitely grew. So that's usually what sponsors will like, is that, you know, I'm posting stuff on Instagram for for their products, or it depends on, a lot of time the sponsor will just send me a direct message either through email or Instagram, or if they know me personally, they'll just text me or call me. And then it kind of depends on what it is for what they would get. It's like, making sure both people are happy in the relationship. They're not just giving me free stuff for nothing.
I have another question with all this betting, online betting, and single sport betting that's available now online that wasn't available in Canada. Do you know whether you're a subject for people wagering on your fights? Like, do people wager? Do they bet on you?
Yeah, people bet on me. So when I fought Kay in my win, actually, I was like a 3-1 underdog. So many people messaged me, I won so much money on you, blah, blah. It was all great. I got tons of great messages. After this fight, I got a lot of negative messages like, someone said, you lost me $45. Can you send me that money? I'm like, dude, don't bet on me. Like,
I bet on you and you lost. I lost money. Can you send me my money?
Yeah,
that's fun. That's funny. Jazz, listen, I'm glad that you joined us, and I'm sure you learned almost as much from the loss as you did from the win, and we look forward. Welcome back to St. Catharines. I'm sure your mom is a little upset with the bruises.
Yeah.
But we look forward to watching you win again. Okay, kiddo.
Thank you so much. It's always great chatting.
All right, man. Take care, Jazz.
Okay, bye.
Jazz the Vicious. Jazz Jasudavicius. What a great name for a UFC fighter. Jazz the Vicious.
Yeah, she's awesome. She sounds like she wants to get back in the ring tomorrow, or get the octagon.
Oh, I know. And you know what? That probably, for somebody that has that kind of passion, that is probably the hardest part, not knowing when you're going to fight again. If you're a hockey player, baseball player, whatever it is, you know when your next game is. And if you, especially if you didn't do as good a job as you thought you wanted to do, like she came out on the wrong end of that fight. Well, the first things you want to do is get back in and win one. And now you don't know when that's going to happen. That has to be frustrating. That really does have to be frustrating.
But you know what? It chills me every single time when they announce from St. Catharines, Ontario, Canada.
That's awesome. Yeah.
That is so cool.
It really, really is. Okay. Now, do we have Joel coming up, or do we not know?
No, I've been in contact. We're looking to go live with Joel Carriere, the president of Dine Alone Records, who right now is down in Montebello Park. He's setting up for the big
concert this weekend, starting tonight.
Yeah, so Joel will be probably on in the next 5 minutes or so, and I asked him to see if he could wrangle up a band member. Like, hey, any musicians kicking around? Let's get them on too. So
now, just to take a pause for a second, want to once again take a chance to thank our sponsors. Gales Gas Bars, Jessica Friesen, the CEO of Gales. Always a pleasure to be able to have you as our title sponsor, and thank you for staying there with us over the course of all through COVID and all through the COVID like rebirth, if you will, of regular society and all that stuff. And even though that we came through that rough couple of years, Gales has accomplished quite a number of things. They are a rainbow registered company, and June 30th, this would be the last day of officially the last day of Pride Month. The major Pride Parade came back to Toronto for the first time live in a couple of years, and Rainbow Registered Company means that all people, regardless of their orientation, are available as safe customers as well as employees of that business, no matter where you work in that business in Niagara. So it makes a very, very strong statement. Gale's also the only fair wage employer, living wage employer is a proper word, living wage employer in the petroleum industry here in Ontario. So a couple of big feathers in the cap of Gale's Gas. Performance Heating and Air, Thank you to Carlo for being here as well. Virgin Insurance also for supporting us. Kevin and Brandon at WeeStream for producing and executively producing this program. We're going to go to Joel Carriere right now, who is a pretty busy guy at this point in time, and I still love that damn hat. You wore that hat the last time. I still love the brim. Man, you got
yeah.
How you doing?
It's just a little good. It's just a little more wet today. It's quite hot out. I love it.
Yeah.
Nice.
So where are we with the concert that kicks off tonight? How are the preparations going?
Everything is wonderful. All the activations are set up. Everyone's very polite and kind and considerate. Sam Roberts is sound checking, and City and Color just sound checked. Oddly enough, it couldn't be more smooth, and obviously it's quite nice to bring a concert to back home to St. Catharines and Montebello Park on this type of scale. It's like, from the production, security, Mary Brown's and the activations, it's a bunch of people that have worked together for 15 to 20 years. So it's good to kind of come and pop this up and everyone knows each other and it's very communal. So I'm hoping, the rest of the city recognizes that and has a good time.
Oh, I think the majority will. Now, walk me through the logistics of how the weekend's going to unfold. Starting when, starting how, ticket prices, all that hoo-ha.
Yeah. Oh, I wish I remembered all of this. The doors are at 4:30. First band's on at 5:30. It ends at around 10:30. There's a half-hour buffer in case anyone goes over. We have parking. It's all online on bornandraised.com and in our socials. We have shuttles and free parking and free shuttles. If you can't find parking downtown, we've also listed all the parking available downtown. Obviously, there's Uber and taxis and public transit.
Mm-hmm.
You can get tickets at the door. I don't know the exact door price. I know the tickets were about $9. I don't know with the Ticketmaster surcharge, which is always great. I don't know if they'll add that to it or not. So I'm not sure the door price. We have, I listed all the food vendors. So we got about vendors, and I listed all the beverages online. So we have a good skew of food and beverages and free water stations, and obviously it's Montebello, so there's a lot of trees on the outside if you need some shade.
Mm-hmm.
It's a really big stage. It's awesome. I was walking around the site listening to Dal sing, and I could just hear him. It's kind of fun hearing him sing songs from a record 20 years ago, written down here through the streets. It was really it's kind of a really cool moment.
That's great, and what a great event to bring some nice live and interactive music and crowds and people mingling together back to St. Catharines, and in an area like Montebello, Parks should be known for. This is just a great thing.
Well, having grown up here and coming here with my Bubba and my Nana for Grape and Wines and various other different events, I never really came to like a fully ticketed full tilt concert here before.
Right.
Not that there hasn't been concerts here, but just something of this size. So it's kind of cool to, I'm not saying this is the first, I'm sure there has been, but to do something with such a large stage and proper activations and have it all run hopefully as smoothly as we've organized it. In the echo of COVID, nothing seems to run the way it should. But it seems like we have crossed our T's and dotted our I's for this one.
Yeah, Joe, I'm going to agree with you here. I mean, I don't think we've ever had a ticketed touring act. Most of the acts that come through are tribute bands or maybe people that are in the nadir of their career, let alone people that are still drawing. You kind of alluded to it, but have you heard from Dallas and the guys at Alexis on Fire and how they're feeling standing on stage and seeing Montebello Park set aside for just them for this so unique event?
Yeah, I think the nerves were a little high. Every time you do a hometown show, you have hometown excitement, and you grew up here, so you have all these amazing memories of your growth, and obviously the mistakes are there and shining under a big light. So I think anytime you do something in hometown, the nerves are high until you step in here. And I think Wade and Dallas have already come by, and as soon as they walked in, it was like, oh, this is great. Like because things that we used to do when we ran Scene Festival. As we scaled Scene Festival, we still weren't on like the best stages, and we were kind of punk rock by the way we did it, because we were learning and dealing with people that we're also learning. So to be able to come here later on as professionals and do something professional is really awesome. But no, like I said, there was some hometown jitters, even for myself. You know, I want my parents to be proud of me and my friends from high school, and I want them to have the best time ever. So you kind of start overthinking things that were or are usually just easy, and you do, because we always have a level of consideration from our company and our bands that we hold closely and want to make sure people recognize that. But there's a little extra love that went into this based on it being our home.
Yeah, and a little extra pressure too. But once everybody takes the stage and things get rolling, those butterflies have a tendency to disappear, and you just go have fun.
Yeah, and you know what was really cool is, like, you know, we were on a few city council meetings, and they were really supportive and had unanimous votes with everything that we brought up. And it seemed like for the first time in a hot minute that the city itself was actually quite easy to deal with. You know, doing Scene Festival, we kind of just pop it up and apologize later and deal with what came. But it's something of this size, and you know, something we might be able to continue. They all had a general enthusiasm that was nice to see. You know, our city hasn't always been the most progressive from that standpoint. So
no, but I think COVID,
nice.
I think COVID taught us a lot of lessons, Joel, in the fact that we need these human interactions. We need these moments. We need these releases, and it's important to us.
Yeah, and I went to a place called Trust yesterday and had tacos, and that place was gnarly. That was I couldn't believe I had such good Mexican food in St. Catharines. Oh, yeah. Let alone, like, you know, even in Toronto doesn't have great Mexican. That was amazing. So, you know, it's nice to see, like, some of these new bars and everything popping up. And that's why we started the show, like, at 4:30. Doors at 4:30, gates at 5:30. The idea is to bring people downtown, and then everyone kind of cruise around in the beginning and afterwards, and hopefully bring some people downtown to the city and get some business going for everyone.
Awesome. All right. Joel Carriere, born and raised, happening tonight. 4:30 is start time, Montebello Park. You're probably going to have to deal with a little bit of extra foot traffic and traffic, but it'll all be worthwhile. Break a leg out there, everybody. Have a great time. Thanks.
Yeah.
I know it's been a busy day for you, so I appreciate you coming on to chat with us, Joel. I wish you nothing but the best for tonight.
All right, thanks.
Take care. Bye.
Dal says hi.
Who do we got there? Is that Dallas?
Is that Dallas?
Yeah, he had to grab something quickly. Sorry.
Yeah, fair
Don't be sorry for saying hi to Dallas. Hey, Dallas.
Yeah, wish him well.
All right. Have a good one, guys.
Okay.
Thanks.
Take care. Bye. All right, City and Color, Sam Roberts Band, Ruby Waters, Chastity, and Doors kick it off at 4:30. City and Color, of course, is the headliner at 9 o'clock.
Just flipping through. Here's your Canada Day lineup for tomorrow.
Yeah.
And then we get into Saturday, where the Alexis on Fire boys are back up there. Billy Talent. And then Sunday.
Busy weekend for the musicians. That's a lot of playing.
Yeah, Dallas, I mean, he's part of City and Color and Alexis on Fire, so he's got 4 nights in a row headlining.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I'm so proud of those guys.
Yeah, I'll bet he is just going to look back on this and say, "Wow, what a great homecoming." After all the trials and tribulations of live music over the last 3 years.
What they're doing is not easy, right? The easy route would be like, hey, you know what? We're going to go play the ACC in Toronto.
Yeah.
And everybody can come see us there.
Yeah.
This is not the path of least resistance. Right? So good for them for saying, you know what, we are going to come home. We are going to do it here. Those visions we had, as he said, sitting there writing songs with the guys at Alexis on Fire and City and Color 20 years ago, right here on the streets of downtown St. Catharines. And now they're taking over probably our Central Park, Montebello Park, and making it their own.
You know, nostalgia is a wonderful thing, not only for the people that were the receivers of be the entertainment of the movies or whatever it is, but for the performers I think they really love it as well. Now, I think Anne Murray probably got tired after a while of singing Snowbird. I mean, there's only so much nostalgia you can take. But for these guys, there's been kind of a dry period over the last little while, and the memories that they made and created, and the story that they started here in St. Catharines and Niagara, it's gotta warm as my dad would say, the cockles of their hearts, to come back and be a part of it all again. You know, it's got to be.
So, Lee, we got about 5 minutes here before Alicia is going to join us from
Okay.
Hospice Niagara, talk about their Catch the Ace draw, over $346,000
Yeah.
now. It's going to go, they're down to like 10 cards, so it's going to go sometimes in the next couple months.
Yeah.
And then we got Sherrilynn Evans coming on. A couple of things this week on Niagara 411. Not sure what you want to touch on.
Well, I think we want to set up a little bit the Catch the Ace,
Okay.
and how this.
And just so you know, Lee, Alicia just hopped in the green room, so we'll
did
get
you?
her set in. We can just segue right
We're
from
just-
your setup.
We're into it. Okay. So the reason we reached out to Alicia today, as a matter of fact, is the fact that there have been numerous questions asked with regard to the Catch the Ace lottery fundraising promotion from Hospice Niagara, because one particular fellow has won many times, many weeks, and people have wondered, how does this actually happen? And there was the last email. It was like, I just went through the emails. I'm not saying who wrote this, but there's been numerous people. I just went through the emails that I have kept for the last few months, and wondering how the heck one person has won in the following weeks: 29, 34, 36, 38, 39, and 41, for a total of $63,000 plus. And we're getting down to the short strokes of the Catch the Ace promotion. This fellow is no stranger to these kinds of lotteries. As I understand it, he also won a big prize in a similar style lottery in London, Ontario, and people are asking a lot of questions. My wife was one of them. She's bought some tickets, and she called and said, everything, as we can tell, is up and above board. All the rules and regulations and the lottery regulations and stipulations are being followed. And Alicia herself on the Facebook page posted the fact that everything has been checked and is copacetic. Everything is fine, and yet people still have questions. So, because of that, we welcome Alicia Mary to the program. Hey, Alicia, welcome back to the show. Nice to see you again.
Nice to see you too.
So, obviously, first of all, congratulations on an incredibly successful promotion.
Thank you.
So that's where we have to start. This isn't the first time an organization has had a promotion like this. I think the first time it happened was someplace out on the East Coast. It was called Chase the Ace or something of that nature. And then other fundraising organizations such as yours thought, well, hey, we could run something like that. So you're down to kind of the short strokes now. You got what, 10 draws left or something?
10 draws left. One of that is tonight at 6 o'clock, actually.
Right. So tell us how, for people that aren't quite sure, tell us how this is supposed to work.
Yeah, so it's called Catch the Ace, and everybody buys in weekly. You have different amounts of tickets that you can purchase for every week, your choice, 3 for 10, 10 for 20, 50 or 50, or 200 for $100. When you buy your tickets, you're assigned numbers for each ticket that you purchased. If your number is drawn that week, so tonight at 6 o'clock, we will draw one number. If your number is the lucky number that's drawn, the envelope that you also picked when you purchased your tickets will be revealed. And behind each envelope is a card in the deck of cards, right? Up to 52 cards.
Okay.
And there's only 10 cards left.
Right.
One of which happens to be the Ace of Spades. And if you are the lucky person to draw the Ace of Spades, you not only win that weekly prize for the weekly draw, but you'll also win the progressive jackpot, which now this week, if you won both the weekly prize and the progressive, you're looking at least $360,000 to take away tonight.
Wow. Now, does the ace move around?
No, nope.
It's only honestly, in one place the whole time.
Yep, and I do not know where that ace is. Only the system knows. It's a random number generation system that is approved by the Alcohol and Gaming Commission of Ontario, and it's used for all charitable lotteries that do the Catch the Ace. It's one of a couple that are approved by the AGC.
So this could essentially happen in week 1, or it could happen in week 52.
Yeah, like this is our third time running Catch the Ace. So in the first run, it got found in week 22. In the second, it was found in week 13. And then now, I mean, we're at week 42, and quite honestly, I hope it goes to the very end because, I want that jackpot to grow, right?
Sure,
for
you
people
would.
and families in Niagara. Yeah.
Okay, Alicia, let's talk about the elephant in the room. What is this Trottier guy doing?
Well, he's playing a good game. That I can say, right? Because
that's a bit of an understatement, don't you think?
Yeah. Well, you know what? He has a strategy, and just like many people will have a strategy, lots of people have played, lots of weekly winners have happened through this Catch the Ace, and every one of them carries their own personal strategy, whether they're in a group, whether they're doing it on their own, whether they're buying $10 a week or $50 a week or more. Everybody has their own individual strategy. He's obviously got quite a good one, and he's very lucky.
Okay, now this dude though has won 6 weekly
of ours. He's won 8 of ours, actually.
8 of yours, okay? I was underselling it.
Yeah, you were.
He's won 8.
He's won 8
of yours. That's 8 out of what? 41.
Yes.
That's a pretty astounding average for anybody that's a gambler.
It is.
Even for somebody with a system. He's done this same thing in other communities. I think he picked up a grand prize of something like $230,000 in London.
Yes.
And not to be outdone, other places closer to Ottawa. I mean, this seems to be like a full-time job for this guy.
Yeah, I'm not sure. He doesn't share that information with us, so.
I know.
Yeah.
But you can understand the frustration and the question marks. It's like I'm sitting here and like in a cartoon, you've got question marks and like in a meme on Facebook floating around this issue. Has this part of the story, and believe me, I think the world of Hospice Niagara, you and I go back ages, we've talked so many times, and I'm a 180% supporter of Hospice. You folks do just absolutely great work, and I'm casting no aspersions at all.
No,
but
I understand.
Doesn't it bother you a little bit that the wealth hasn't been spread around a little more than it has?
I definitely I definitely want to have multiple winners in our Catch the Ace for sure. Absolutely. Do I love it when somebody in Niagara wins? Definitely, because Niagara's close to my heart. But I think the most important thing about all of this is no matter what, ultimately, the people and families in Niagara who we serve with our programs at no cost are the ones who are benefiting. So we really celebrate everybody who wins, and most of all, I celebrate when that ace stays hidden. So that's when I do my cheering.
Yeah. I would just hate to see the fact that others don't contribute because they think they don't have a chance. That's the only thing that bothers me about it, that it might stop other people from participating.
Yeah, and I really hope it doesn't. I mean, definitely only takes one ticket to win. Yes,
Yeah.
people have different strategies to try to stack the deck, so to speak. But it really only takes one ticket to win. And I can assure you there have been people who have won our weekly draws that have not played big, let's say.
Well, Alicia Mary, we thank you for joining us from Hospice Niagara, the marketing director, and congratulations on the success of the promotion. I hope it goes 52 weeks as well, because I mean that just means huge benefits for hospice, and that massive construction project that's going on over there is amazing.
Yeah, I mean, we're expanding, right, to
Yeah.
3 sites in Niagara. So we're going to be helping more and more people every day.
Yeah, I knew that expansion was coming, but I had no idea that it was going to be covering the acreage that it is. It's absolutely huge.
Yeah, it was the one right next to Hospice Niagara is actually Lynn Haven's expansion.
Yeah, I know,
but,
yeah.
Yeah, but
But
our
it's
two
all
expansions
but it's all
are-
connected with you
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah, we're all, helping each other.
Terrific.
Yeah.
Okay, Alicia, thanks for being here. I know it's kind of a funny situation with this thing, but if you're satisfied that everybody is doing their due diligence on this, then I guess we have to be satisfied. So we're
Absolutely.
satisfied.
I can assure you we are doing our due diligence
All
multiple
right.
times.
All right. Thanks. Have a great weekend.
Thank you very much. You too.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Kevin, it's still weird.
So, Lee, doing a little bit of research here behind the scenes, and it is all above board. This guy, Jacques Trottier, as you mentioned, 8
Jacques
times.
Trottier.
The guy's won 8 out of 41 draws. I mean, statistically, that's
Just
an
in
anomaly.
ours.
That's an outlier, 100%.
Yeah.
So, you Google his name or whatever, and here you go. Alexandria man wins second big charity Catch the Ace raffle in less than a year. Now, this article came out June of this year, so about a month ago. Early June. I know we're still in June, but you know
Jacques
what I mean?
Trottier of Alexandria, Ontario, announced as the winner of the Carleton Place Catch the Ace raffle. The online provincial progressive raffle, which began in August 21, wrapped up in week 37 on April 28, 2022, when AC, the raffle's beloved ace of spades, was caught by Trottier. The Alexandria resident won the largest progressive pot to date of $187,000 plus dollars, plus the weekly pot of $8,000 with a winning ticket number whatever. The win is the second major Catch the Ace windfall for this guy in less than a year. Okay, but you see, I'm sorry, there's got to be something. In September of 2021, the Humane Society of London and Middlesex announced the winner of the Catch the Ace fundraiser was Jacques Trottier of Alexandria, who took home $246,000 plus dollars by locating the ace of spades in envelope number 12.
Yeah, so let's do some quick math here, Lee. The guy's, what, 450 grand?
195 pretty much, then plus 246. Like, really?
He's up over $450,000
And
this
that's not
year.
and that's not counting the weekly ones.
Yeah, not counting the weekly ones that he's already won
Yeah.
here in Niagara. So it goes on. Now, they have some quotes from Jacques. And, for example, here's one that alludes a little bit to his strategy. And again, it's all above board, Lee. The guy's winning legit.
As open and transparent charitable
Oh,
organization.
read the top one there.
Oh, the top one first?
That's from Jacques.
Oh, this is from him. Okay. If I win, I always invest a big portion of my winnings back into the following draw. Trottier was quoted in the release's reply.
And then this next
that's how-
quote is just kind of from the government saying,
Yeah.
And here you go. Here's more from Jacques.
I grew up in a small town, and I have always felt that it was important to support small town events and lotteries. I guess. I know that the money is going locally to charities in need of the funds. Trottier was quoted in the release when asked why he supported the raffles in Carleton Place. I like to know that my money will help others if I purchase to support, unlike the larger provincial lotteries. The odds of winning are also higher than playing Lotterio 649, but better yet, the money spent has a real impact. Well, what else is he going to say?
I don't think there's anything else from him. But again, here's somebody else kind of wondering, hey, hold on a second here. This guy's winning a lot, and the AGO or whoever it is that oversees it sounds like they've investigated time and time again, and the guy just buys a lot of tickets. You know, you buy a lot, you win a lot.
I guess. Can't win big if you don't bet big.
You know, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
99% of the game is 100% mental.
Exactly. 50% of the time, it works every time. All that stuff.
Oh, my goodness.
They're pretty crazy, but good luck to everybody. A draw again tonight, 6 o'clock. And I think the most important things out of that, Lee, is that the draw is over $346,000. I mean, if somebody grabs the ace here in Niagara, that money's staying right here. That's a huge windfall.
Including the $14,000 from the weekly, so it's $360,000.
And, you know, how many more tickets are going to be sold before 6 p.m. tonight? And again, I'm hoping for Hospice that this goes all the way to week 52. Imagine the Bonanza, Lee, if it gets down to one card, so you know it's the ace.
You know what, though? I don't know Mr. Trache. And God bless him if he's just either that lucky or that smart. But I hope he doesn't win the big one. He's already got enough. It's almost like I'm not betting for anybody to win. It's like I'm betting for him not to win. Because it would be defeating. I think it would do the lottery, I think it would do Hospice a lot of good sorry, Mr. Trache, if you blew the big one. Win another weekly draw, I don't care. But not the big one. It would give the rest of us hope. Hope, you say. Hope is all we live on, is hope.
Lee, we got Sherrilynn Evans, and we're going to talk to her in a couple of minutes. A couple things from 411. We didn't get a chance to talk before we went on the air, but I've never seen this before from the NRP. Did you see them throw out the suspect photos of the patio stones and the rocks?
Yes.
Oh, man, this is just... I mean, you want to talk about a funny police lineup. They should have got the sketch artist involved.
Yeah.
I mean, the story itself, kind of disturbing.
Tuesday, Grimsby uniform officers from the... Grimsby has had some interesting things happen out of their detachment last few weeks. From the Niagara Regional Police Service called to 16 damaged mischief incidents. 16 incidents in the town of Lincoln, Vineland and Vineland Station area. As a result of the ongoing investigation, it was reported in most of the incidents that a suspect drove up to the various complainants' addresses, exited his vehicle, and then threw a stone or a brick through the windows of the various complainants' vehicles. In these incidents, the complainants' vehicles were parked either in their driveways or on the street in front of their address. In one incident, the suspect threw a large rock about 60 pounds through a window of a residence. That's going to leave a mark. A witness described the suspect as being a white male, approximately 6 feet tall, believed to be shirtless, wearing dark pants and a baseball hat. Okay. The witness stated that the suspect was operating a dark-colored car, similar to a Honda Civic. So he had these bricks, he had these boulders in his car?
I don't know. So here's what the police are appealing to. I mean, you know, they're looking for people who...
Do you recognize this boulder? I don't know. I think he had a little bit more hair on his chin.
I think I described...
Really? We're lining up boulders? Come on.
I described him more as a shale, and what you're showing me appears to be...
That's more like a billion-year-old rock piece.
I guess what they are looking for is if anybody has these missing from their gardens. That's really what they want, and maybe those people would have security footage and would see the guy stealing it from their garden. So if you're missing... But I've never... You ever seen that one before, Lee?
That's my brick! He stole my brick.
And did you want to get to the Pelham shooting? Because that was kind of flew under the radar.
Yeah, let's touch on that. That was disturbing.
I'll get to it here in just a minute, Lee, but I think you know the gist of it.
Detectives were investigating what they referred to as an overnight shooting. They responded to a residential address on Foss Road near Victoria Avenue in the town of Pelham for reports that a shooting had just occurred. And Kevin, if I'm not mistaken, there were 2 people in the house that were shot, correct?
I think there were 2 people in the house, and then another.
And then another that came into a hospital.
Yeah, I think you're right.
A woman walked into a hospital of her own device, reporting a gunshot wound. At which time they then reported the fact that they had developed a connection between the woman that had walked into the hospital and the people that were found at the residence. There was somehow a connection there. And it's just what always gets me as notable is how many more gun-related incidents that we're experiencing in Niagara. Now there are knives as well, and some guy jumped over a counter this past week to rob a bank. And
I know, it's crazy. I was at Fairview.
Yeah, go ahead.
So I was at Fairview Mall yesterday, and outside Scotiabank, they had a guard there.
Yeah.
And I go, well, I guess it's necessary. I mean, he's right across the hall from the jewelry.
Yeah.
That got, armed at gunpoint. Here you go. So I finally found the story of these, so you can fill in some of the details.
That's good. But that was generally the overview.
Yeah, for the most part.
So they responded, 2 male victims suffering gunshot wounds, both victims treated for their injuries by paramedics. The injuries were considered to be serious in nature. Both victims transported to an out-of-town trauma center. Kevin, can I stop there for a second? We have a state-of-the-art hospital, Niagara Regional Hospital, Niagara Health Service, St. Catharines location, 4th Avenue, not far from Pelham. Why an out-of-town trauma center? Do they have specialists there that we don't? Why don't we have specialists here in St. Catharines that can treat that stuff? Where do they go? Hamilton? McMaster? Is it like, yeah? Why? Sorry.
I think a lot of people are hoping that maybe
Why?
there's a trauma center in the new Niagara Falls build.
Well, I hope so. Why wouldn't you have a trauma center in a monolith the size of the St. Catharines Hospital? Really? Shortage of staff, perhaps? Anyway, sorry, that's my little itty-bitty rant. Officers attended and confirmed this male victim was linking. No, this was the other one. Later on, communications unit learned an additional male. I said woman. I'm sorry. I thought it was a female. Additional male shooting victim having arrived at a local hospital. Officers attended, confirmed this male victim was linked to the shooting that had just occurred at the residence on a fosse near Victoria. At the present time, all 3 male shooting victims are listed in stable condition. At the present time, detectives have no information to believe there is an ongoing threat to public safety. So there was some sort of in-house thing. But still, too many guns for like stupid reasons amongst stupid people. Okay, joining us on the program is Sherrilynn Evans. And we wanted to chat with her about a pretty sensitive subject and have her bring us up to date. First of all, Sherrilynn's been with us before in some pretty amazing Halloween costumes with her husband, and so we see her now as you might meet her on the street. Hi, Sherrilynn. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
It's great. It's great to see you. Now, a gentleman by the name of Ryan Kump passed away on June 17th.
Father's Day.
Yeah. Could you just? I'm going to just jump right in here and let you tell me the story. Can you tell me why you're here today? Why we're talking about this?
I would like to speak on behalf of basically the mental health illness act, I guess, if you want to say. He was my brother. He was 38 years old. He was diagnosed with paranoid schizophrenia and bipolar disorder back when he was an adolescent. Between the ages of 18 and 26 years old is when males usually start showing signs of mental illness. and spent a lifetime fighting that battle. And in my opinion, I feel that there could have been different situations that could have prevented my brother's, sudden passing.
And what might those measures have been? Where did we drop the ball?
I feel, in my opinion, that there should be more programs that help people with mental illness, such as more counseling, more guidance. Stop just pushing pills on people, because at the end of the day, the medication can cause your bodily harm. There are some serious side effects of medication, and I feel, in my opinion, that they push medicine that doesn't even really have much of a scientific background of the risks. And as when he passed away, I started doing a lot of research. Like, I've been researching every single day. It's kind of helping me process his death, and I'm finding out some things that it's unbelievable with certain medications that he was on. And I feel that with proper guidance and proper, more therapeutic sources out there, a lot of this could have been prevented.
Do you feel it was the confluence of these medications that led to his death?
I do, yes. When I started doing research and I started picking apart these medications, and I went through the list of their risks, because all medications have side effects.
Sure.
Half of them were not listed. You have to take apart the medication, and then you have to type in certain words, and then you get this whole other category of risks that should have been noted on the medication, like when you go to Shoppers or whatever, and they have like the side effects, I should say, sorry.
Right.
They're not listed on the side effects at all. But when you start picking apart everything, it makes sense.
Now, it's my understanding also that there are, and maybe not all pharmacies, but there are some pharmacists in select pharmacies that have the training to go through all of a person's medications, for example. Like, you go in and you do a medication check,
Right.
as it were, and they kind of do that analysis as to how this medication might counteract that one, or deal with that one and that one, and they can make recommendations as to what combinations might not be helpful. Is that your experience, that those things are there, that they exist?
I mean, they do exist, and some pharmacists do say, you have to be careful when taking this with this, because there could be this reaction. In our situation, no, that was never the case. These medications were supposed to be safe. They were supposed to help treat, and then come to find out after his passing, his dosages were way too high. He should never have been on certain medications for 15 years of his life at a double dose. That's too strong for a person, let alone, I'm finding this all out after.
Okay, but you found this out after the fact.
Yeah.
Was this through autopsy or what?
The autopsy, apparently, we're still waiting for specific results, which will take months at a time. Yeah. So the cause of death right now is unknown. Now, the coroner did tell me, in their opinion, they see a lot of people with mental illness on those types of medications pass away due to, but that is their opinion. There's no medical science behind that, but in their opinion, they see a lot of people with schizophrenic and bipolar, and who are on antipsychotics, that are passed away in sudden cardiac arrest.
And your brother passed away in his sleep?
Yeah, he woke up at 5:30 in the morning. He made a sandwich, and then he went back to sleep, and he never woke back up again.
Was it cardiac failure?
They just said it was sudden cardiac arrest in their opinion.
Okay.
And only the medication that I have been researching is coming up with sudden cardiac arrest. So everything matches to this one specific medication that I've been researching.
Has your brother's doctor or doctors had anything to say about this?
Not yet. I'm doing my own investigation, to be honest with you, because this is eating me and my family up. So there's definitely, I'm going to be looking into a few things because, like
do you go to bed at night? Do you go to bed every night or wake up every morning and say, Ryan didn't have to die?
Yeah, it's constantly in my mind. Like, why him? Like at 38 years old, that's too young. For what reason? He would get tested every month. He was healthy. Besides his mental state, he was healthy.
And people believe that his condition was manageable.
Yeah, apparently.
But somebody but somebody mismanaged it somewhere along the way.
In my opinion, yes, because you don't double dose a certain medication for that long period of time. Like, we didn't know they were double dosing, and when we say the doctor, I'm not naming names, say the doctor was on vacation and Ryan went to a walk-in clinic and that doctor says, I'm not giving this dose to Ryan. So that doctor refused to give that dose to Ryan. Now, it's kind of like, why would that doctor refuse?
Yes.
But his other doctor, oh, sure, every 2 weeks, let's just pump him up.
Yes. Has there been any conjecture by those in authority spots that Ryan self-overdosed?
Nope, he never had any control of his medication. His medication was controlled by
caregivers?
Yeah. So he had no control over his medication whatsoever.
Wow.
And he would go to the doctors every 2 weeks and have, because he would get a needle. Every 2 weeks they would, give him a shot, and then he was on pill form. And those pills were, certain times a day. He never had any control of them. They were monitored. My brother was monitored. He went get checkups because they have to check up. He had blood work done, once a month to make sure everything was running smoothly. And his next doctor's appointment was, that Tuesday or Monday or Tuesday, and he passed away Sunday.
Well, condolences for your loss.
Thank you.
Sherrilynn, and please keep us posted on this because we have as many questions, maybe not as many questions as you, but almost probably, right. Because it just seems like the circle hasn't been completed here.
No.
And again, sorry to your family for your loss, and please help us follow this, okay, as bits and pieces come in?
Absolutely.
All right.
And I'm trying to, hopefully the mental health situation has more funding because, people need help out there and they're not receiving the proper, the proper guidance is what I'm going to call it. Like, they need more counseling.
It seems like there is an awful lot of differing opinion on how to treat these people too. Right,
absolutely.
Thank you, Sherrilynn.
Thank you very much.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye.
A lot of families with a lot of issues, Kev.
Lee, I'm going to pass along my condolences to Sherry Lee and her family as well. Seeing the comments pour in and the way things and life works in Niagara, I never knew Sherrilynn's brother, but so many people I know did.
Yeah.
And it's just, it's sad. And these are the true stories of mental health, mental illness, and the treatment and the complexities of the treatment thereof, and the different opinions that are out there for treating the same. It's a morass of mess. Yeah, Lee, this week on Niagara 411, Nick shared this post, and Caleb Fast is going to be our musical guest here to wrap up the show. But before we get to that, with the song Dirty Dancing. But here's a little bit about Caleb. He's going to be performing coming up at the end of August.
Okay. Go hear some amazing music with Niagara's own Caleb Fast at Conversations Cafe in Beamsville, August 26th at 8 p.m. Free show! With donations welcome, they'll go to the Community Addiction Services of Niagara, speaking of mental afflictions. Hope to see you there. So good for you, Caleb, for doing this charity event on August the 26th. And Kevin, what are we going to hear Caleb play?
A song, it came out about a month ago, the official video for Dirty Dancing.
All right. Thank you to Gales Gas Bars for fueling this program. Performance Heating and Air, Virgin Insurance Group for supporting us as well. WeeStream, Kevin and Brandon Scram, and to Kevin Jack, our executive producer. A fabulous job as usual. My name is Lee Sterry, and we will be back. Are we back Thursday next week, Kevin?
Yeah, we're Thursday next week.
All right. We look forward to that. Have yourselves a fabulous weekend. Thanks for being here on Niagara 411 Live with Lee Sterry, and enjoy your long holiday weekend. Happy Canada Day. How many flags are we supposed to have on our car anyway?
Wish you were mine. Signs all the time, Angel numbers told me we should probably be together. Dirty dancing in my bedroom, no, I love you better. Time will rewind, I could see you through the winter weather. I broke your heart, there's nothing I can do to make it better. I'm all alone, and it rains all September. Brown hair falling on your face, I'd sing you home to shelter. Tried to get you back by writing you a love letter. The realest love I've ever known, I can't believe I left her. Yeah, can't believe I left her. And you were standing in the party smiling in a red shirt. And those blue jeans on your thighs really made my chest hurt. Think there's something about your eyes, supernova for sure. You took a chance on me that night, now I'm missing my girl. Just look up 444 tonight and then you'll know why I'm sure. The winter blues had me down, loving you was the cure. Yeah, loving Jay was the cure. My angel numbers told me we should probably be together. Dirty dancing in my bedroom, no, I love you better. Time will rewind, I could see you through the winter weather. I broke your heart, there's nothing I can do to make it better. I'm all alone, and it rains all September. Brown hair falling on your face, I'd sing you home to shelter. Tried to get you back by writing you a love letter. The realest love I've ever known, I can't believe I left her. Yeah, can't believe I was it for the better? Was it for the better? My angel numbers told me we should probably be together. Dirty dancing in my bedroom, no, I love you better. If time would rewind, I could see you through the winter weather. I broke your heart, there's nothing I could do to make it better. I'm all alone, and it rains all September. Brown hair falling on your face, I'd sing you home to shelter. Tried to get you back by writing